He checked. He didn't find any damage anywhere other than the vehicle. I'm not sure, because I haven't seen him today.
No, I talked to him on Saturday at the party, and he got everything all.
We're live.
He was happy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everybody to our 6 p.m. CCPD Crime Control and Prevention District meeting for Monday, December 8th. First of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. And our first, I'll call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. First, we'll start off with public input. Anybody with any address concerns for the Crime Control and Prevention District Board may speak for 3 minutes. I'll open that public discussion now. The answer is, do we have any sign-up sheets, Sheila? We have no one. So that being said, I'll close the public input. And we'll go to public hearing. This is a public hearing concerning at 6:02. Crime Control Prevention District Board will conduct a public hearing to receive public comment on the proposed fiscal year 2025 and 2026 budget for the Copper Canyon Crime Control and Prevention District. That public hearing is now open. Do we have any inputs? Sheila, anybody, a sign-up sheet? No sign-up sheets at all? No other input? No other public hearing? I'll close that public hearing then at 6:03. We'll move on to action and discussion items. We're going to consider approval for November 18th. Hi, Chase. 2024 CCPD meeting minutes. And consider approval of January 13th, 2025 CCPD meeting minutes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think you can vote to approve those minutes because no one was at that meeting or a member of the board.
None of us.
Correct.
Okay.
And that counts the staff as well.
I'm sorry, what?
The staff counts as well, if they were at the meeting.
Well, they don't vote,
Oh, okay.
so I think that's it. They just don't get approved.
All right. We will table that issue and table both those items for approval and just put them into the record, I guess.
Right. I mean, none
The
of
town
you
records.
were in attendance at either. One, you were not a member of the board at the time, and not that it matters because mainly you need to be a member of the board, but you weren't in attendance. So I don't see how you can, you would
I
all
was
have to
in
abstain.
attendance. I was in attendance for that November meeting,
Okay,
but, I mean, I wasn't on the board.
Yeah.
Just-
right. So, I mean, I just don't think those minutes can be voted on.
Okay. Well, we will not vote on those items, and we will remove those from the action and discussion items. And then we'll move on to subject number 3, which is discuss, consider, and take action regarding the Copper Canyon Crime Control and Prevention District fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed budget. In that discussion for the control budget, we do have a presentation that we've worked up for those that are interested in from our staff, and that's Troy, if you'll brief us on that from our presentation.
Absolutely, Mayor. I got a couple slides to kind of run through. What we wanted to do is not only present the proposed budget, but within the budget, there's a mission statement, some goals, some organizational structure as well. So we'll go through those over the next couple slides. So what we wanted to do first is talk a little bit about the mission statement. And so your mission statement for the CCPD is the Crime Control Prevention District of Copper Canyon is to establish and support and enhance public safety by connecting with the police department operations and community involvement, reducing crime, and creating a safe environment for all. So that was just kind of a mission statement that we had come up with and, for the budget. The organization, and I won't go through this and read these line by line, but basically the board is going to be selected by the council, which gives, then the board would have some oversight of the CCPD and also be responsible for at least 2 reviews annually of the operation and to make sure that we're meeting all of our goals that we'll set forth today as well. Some key functions of the board, of the CCPD board, is to provide, budget direction, operational direction, understanding where the program's going, how those funds are being spent on equipment, and making sure that what we're spending those funds on kind of meet the state regulations and also protect our communities as well. And then that also goes into planning and coordinating and the support to safeguard folks in Copper Canyon as well, and to make sure that our law enforcement has what they need to kind of do those things to go along with that. So that's just a quick overview on that.
Before you flip the page, did we not decide that we were gonna be the board?
Yes.
You are the board.
Yes.
You are the board.
Okay, well, it said a board will be selected by town council.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So for
Council-
future boards, for
Yeah,
future
so Councilmember
councils.
Dahl, the state regulations says you can serve 2-year terms. And that falls in line with the council terms as well. So there's gonna be occasions where you may have some council turnover or new council comes on board, so you'd have to kind of reappoint them to the CCPD board officially, even though kind of automatically you wear kind of both hats. So that's why we kind of put that in there.
So, can I ask, is the plan not to include the community, the residents of the town, so that there's some ownership? Are we not planning on asking town residents to?
Well, the current town board, it's gonna be CCPB board, is the town council. We all voted on that because we can't get enough volunteers to be on that board. The next one may be somebody else, maybe somebody from the town who could volunteer, and the board may say, we'll take 2 people from outside. And the talk,
The board has to be town council or the 7 members. That's what the state
Yes.
statute says. The only reason, the town is allowed to serve, the council is because and have less than 7 is because as a board, it's a general law city, and so you have less than 7 on the board. But what you should not be mixing council members and individuals. So it's either the town council or 7 individuals.
Okay, so we're making an assumption that we will never, that at least we cannot get 7 individuals right now.
that's correct. We don't,
For the current term.
for 2 years, we had that problem, and we still haven't solved that problem yet, so.
Okay.
And then some goals that we kind of put forth for the 25-26 budget is kind of continue to establish the multi-district relationships with the county, surrounding police departments, continue to promote, volunteer checks for home security, vacation. When people are out on vacation, they can request that, so continue to promote those things. Continue to develop the relationship we have with the county as it relates to dispatch services. And the other services, the after-hour services that they provide as well. And then to partner and support the neighborhood watch programs for Copper Canyon. Also, making sure that we're adequately staffed, so occasionally we will get with the chief and say, how are we doing staffing-wise, and how does that fit in with our budget commitments as well? So continue to do those things. If there's any juvenile cases that may come up, we would provide some consulting services around those investigations as well. To also just look at daily performance and standards and expectations of the department, constantly kind of monitor where we're at with those things as well. And then also ongoing communication between the town administrator and the chief of police and the department to make sure if there's anything that we need to adjust or change, that we continue to do that. And then also present 2 annual reviews by the PD to the CCPD board on kind of how we're functioning as a department, how the department's running, and that type of thing. So those are some goals that we have for this upcoming year, and wanted to see if you guys had any questions related to those.
I mean, I don't have a question, but back to what Councilmember Hubbard said, I think that we should at some point incorporate input from the citizens, whether it's in one of the we had the neighborhood watch programs, and we would have the Meet the Cops or Coffee with the Cops, and the last one, I think we had 50, 60 people. And so those were really well turned out, and maybe we just keep involving the town, because as you know, people have really strong opinion one way or the other about our PD. And I think as far as councilmen, we hear it, but I think let's try to keep that maybe,
Certainly.
Twice a year.
Yes, yeah, provide those programs for us here,
Well,
just to get the
And
feedback.
the reason I had asked about community, I mean, I know that we announce it over when we have town council meetings, but we're making an assumption of how many people are actually watching us. We know how many are here. I think we're making an assumption of how many people are actually watching us as far as the receptiveness. I know when I asked everybody and the ladies in my neighborhood chat, nobody was aware that we had a CCPD. And I'm like, okay. And so that means if nobody is aware, nobody knows that they can volunteer.
Right.
So I don't know, I'm not sure how we get that out a little better. I don't know, maybe once we have a more functional website, we can do that, but I don't even know how many people get emails from town, how many are signed up
Right.
from town, that maybe we can send an email blast to let people know, hey, this is available.
Sure.
Other than just announcing it here.
Yeah, and I think when the new website gets up, we could do a video, have the chief do a video on, what is the CCPD and how can you assist or have input or play a role in, or however we want to tee that up. But I think there'll be an opportunity there. I think potentially some other opportunities, if the chief could reach out to all the HOAs and maybe attend one of their meetings just to give a general, overview of the PD and the CCPD, and kind of if anybody has any questions and who to call and, that type of thing, just do a
I'd
quick,
certainly keep that in mind
Q&A.
when we have ours, yeah.
certainly.
But that's the thing, I think there needs to be some ownership. And I'm glad and okay with doing this, but if we do everything, it's the equivalent of, when you're a parent, you take care of everything.
Right.
And somebody else somewhere down the line behind us is gonna wanna step up.
Sure.
I think one of the issues that they had last time, and I was involved in the audience at that time, is CCPD to most people is Copper Canyon Police Department. But we're not calling it CCPD, we're calling that the Crime Control and Prevention District. So there's a disconnect there, I think, when people say, oh, do you want to volunteer for CCPD? They're like, you think you're volunteering for the police department. And so I think we need to do a better job of that. I also remember at some point, we had volunteers, I think we had 5. It was very disconnected at that time, and I think they found out that you had to be bonded, am I right?
Right.
To be on the Crime Control Prevention District Board, you had to be bonded with the state, and it was more than just neighborhood watch volunteer. So I know somebody in the audience that was very involved in that as well, and I think that it's a little bit more of a step up than just a volunteer, because there's a lot of steps that you have to go to be on that, and I guess because we're already on the council, they figure that we're
Right.
legit or whatever, right?
Well, we have to get our feet on the ground and get it running and get it stabilized, and I think that's what our attempt here to get this all done, to start off with. And then if we can run some advertisements and some outreach and go visit those people, I'm more than glad to do that. Find people that want to take it over, and then the town council can vote their responsibilities away. We'd have to look into that bonding thing, because clearly, I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, but that's probably for bigger cities, I would imagine, than for a small town like us. We can't ask volunteers to put up $5,000.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure about
Yeah,
that,
but
okay?
that's how I see
But the other thing that I would think about is, that may be something that the town might want to pick up, okay? I think that's probably what most cities do.
we'll look into that and figure out if we have to do that or whatever, but,
I mean, we had some pretty legitimate volunteers. We had a detective on the Louisville Police Department. We had several council people. We had former mayor. We had people that were very invested in the town. And then I think some of the people heard about the bond, and they're like, oh, wait, this is a little bit more than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, Sheila, what do you think?
Yes, and we were gonna pay for them, so we were not making them pay for it. I had one who just didn't agree with the language of the bond, and he wouldn't sign it. And then another person, PD related, I think she felt like, whether her schedule or something, but anyway, that's why she stepped down. So,
7
And-
people's a lot.
yeah, oh, and we never even had close to 7.
We had like 3.
Yeah, and usually my impression is the CCPD has a lot of, in other places, they might have hands-on cash, and that's extremely why they have the bonds. Now, our cash is flowing between our operating account into the CCPD, so there's no cash.
I just think it needs to be defined what it actually is. I mean,
Right.
we're learning it tonight. And when we go out and talk to people about volunteers, we need to be very specific about, here's what you're volunteering. You're not just gonna be involved with the police department. Because this is a major responsibility.
Well, we've got 2 years to figure it out, so.
there you go. Well, once again, we're trying to get this thing just stabilized and running in a proper direction as much as we possibly can for right now, and that's why, we voted in to make ourselves, the town council, the board, so. And we'll look into that bond issue
Right.
by any means, not requiring individuals to bring that up, I wouldn't think.
So the next slide just talks a little bit about the budget. So in the 24-26 budget, proposed budget, we had a fund balance that was carried over from 24-25 of $258,780. And then the forecasted tax revenue, because if you guys recall, this is the 1 cent tax out of the 2 cent sales tax that we get that's dedicated to the CCPD. So we're estimating at about 175 that we'll collect those funds this year. And if that comes to fruition, then we would get an interest roughly, and that rate fluctuate as well. So these two numbers are pretty fluid as we go through the year. And so that would give us a fund balance of $443,780. And then what we're proposing is that we take that $200,000 out for this fiscal year, 25-26, to be used for new police cars and salaries and a variety of things that we outlined that's in your packet. And then that would leave us a ending balance of $243,780. So if you look at our sales tax over the last couple of years, we've had pretty fruitful sales tax. Keeping in mind, we had a lot of new homes coming online with Vickery and Williams Ranch. Those two developments are nearly built out. Vickery's pretty much built out. William Ranch, they have 2 lots that they haven't started foundations yet, but all the other 28 homes are framed and exteriors are put on, and so that's, I think, we were seeing a lot of our sales tax from people buying things for their new house, for example. So until we get, the Knolls and Awney Ranch up and running, we may see a little drop in sales tax, but, it's just one of those things that we gotta just kind of watch over the next couple of months and kind of see where that goes. But that is the proposed budget that we're recommending for tonight for consideration.
So I have a question in regards to the budget. I know where the 175 comes, that's taxes.
Right, the 1
without
cent
wrong.
sales tax.
But the carryover, is that what remains from those funds that were part of that grant that originally?
No grant, these were all sales.
So this 258,780,
Mhm.
that is also
Sales tax.
from sales tax? Okay.
Because remember, we've been collecting sales tax, I believe, since 2015. And we primarily were using it for the county services, which
Okay.
roughly was about 200,000 and some change from what I understand. And so there were just, you received some, anything above that, we're rolling that over from year to year to year.
Okay.
And that's just the accumulation of that over time.
I think everybody understands this, but this is just allocating that 1%. This is not our total budget for PD.
Yeah, 615.
Yeah, but this is actually an allocation model, just to demonstrate to the state that we're using that 1% the way it was intended.
Yeah.
Because we're taxing residents, so.
Troy,
Exactly.
can you explain to us, like, new patrol vehicle 65, how many vehicles do we have now? And I heard that, in the past, I was told that 2 of them were gonna go offline, or is that true?
Yes, so right now we have 2 older units, one's a 2015, one's a 2016. Those are going to be put out of commission here very shortly. We had budgeted $85,000 for this year for a new vehicle, and we came across a vehicle that we could get for roughly about 50, and then time you add all the bells and whistles to it, it was gonna be about 65,000, so we'll see some savings. So as we speak, we have captured that vehicle. It's at Defender. We have taken one of our older vehicles over there so they can take all the radars and the radios and all that and transfer it into that new vehicle. And as soon as they strip down that vehicle, it'll go in a public auction. And then same thing with the second older one as well. So once that new vehicle arrives, then we'll decommission that vehicle, have to strip off the decals and all the stuff. And then we'll save that as surplus parts, and then we'll have 3 new vehicles. So we'll have a truck, and then the one that's coming, and then the other vehicle we have. So that is the plan moving forward.
So the bottom line is we're gonna work our way down to 3 vehicles, and they'll be pretty new, which is a good thing for maintenance and reliability and everything that goes along with that.
That is correct, because we. So the proceeds would come back to the town, but you have to go through a public auction because this is public property. And so there's an online service that we have access to, that they'll post it online, they'll sell it as is, and then folks will bid on that.
And will that come back into the
CCP, it'll go back into the CCPD budget, because those used vehicles, I'd have to go back and double check, but I believe they were probably purchased with some of those CCPD funds. And so just to keep it clean, we just take that, put it back into the CCPD and not the general fund.
Okay, great.
All right. Kind of the last slide I've got, kind of a summary. So what we're recommending is to recommend to council to approve the 25-26 proposed budget that you guys saw tonight. Also, when we established the CCPD, we had a fiscal year starting February 1, which is not on the same cycle as the town's budget. So to kind of get those back in alignment, we would move the 25-26 budget to end September 30th of 2026. And then also recommending changing the CCPD budget, the 26-27 fiscal year, to start on October 1 of 26 and end on September 30th of 27. So then it would get everything back on cycle. So what that would mean is that we would be reviewing the 26-27 budget probably in May as a proposed budget. This board would meet and decide kind of how we're going to use those funds, and then present that as the budget moves forward with the regular budget for the town. So it all is in sync. So come August and September, when you guys are approving those budgets, you're approving the CCPD budget, and you're approving the town's fiscal budget as well. And then it all syncs up after that. So that is the recommendations that we've got for tonight.
Okay, very good. Any questions on that slideshow at all for us, for the budget? Very good. I want to state the car issue is a very big one, and I think we're really going down a good path, getting a new car for the price we got it for. And we can't do maintenance here. That is unexpected dollars being spent. So I think it's a good program and to do. So I guess we'll take action. I'll accept a motion to accept the budget for CCPD for 25-26, ending in September 30th, 26. So a little shorter budget. I'll take a motion to accept that budget.
I'll make a motion that we accept the budget for CCPD for fiscal year 25-26.
Motion for acceptance by Councilmember Hubbard,
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilmember Castillo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. With one absent vote, that's a 4-0 vote and approval.
Should we have added, and we're changing the,
That's the next one over. And next item, we have to line up, as Troy described earlier, the fiscal years for the CCPD budget and our town budget for financial control. Let's go discuss and consider and take action of setting the crime control and prevention district fiscal year from October 1 through September 30th for each year, beginning October 2026. I'll open discussion on that. Anybody?
makes a lot of sense.
Makes
Does
sense?
that get audited all at once, or will those be separately audited? Like Councilmember Hubbard brought up the fact of, we were talking about auditing a few meetings ago and how we're trying to get everything.
Right. So they'll be audited as one audit.
Okay.
And they'll look at those restricted funds, whether it's the sewer fund, whether it's the PD fund, CCPD fund. So they'll look at those separately, and
Okay.
that'll all be included in the audit.
It'll be the same audit team doing it all.
Yes,
Yeah, it'll be the same audit team that we hired. Any other discussion on that issue, matching up the financial dates? And I'll close discussion on that then, and I'll take a consideration for taking action. I'll take action to motion to accept the new fiscal year date from October 1st through September 30th, starting in October 2026. Accepting a motion for that.
I'll make a motion, we accept the budget fiscal year October 1st through September 30th of each year, beginning October 2026.
Motion by Councilmember Castillo. Do I have a second for that motion? Seconded by Councilmember Hubbard. All in favor, say aye. All against, say nay. And once again, with one absent vote and 4 ayes, that motion passes 4-0. And that closes out any items. Is there, Ted, do you want to say anything at all? Since you showed up late, we already closed down the public input, but I'll reopen it back up if you're wishful to speak.
I bow to the wisdom of the council.
Well, that's it.
Today.
That's great.
Today.
We love to hear that. And so, with that, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I'll motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion accepted, seconded by Councilmember Castillo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against, say nay. 4-0. Once again, with one absent, meeting is adjourned.